How's it going, guys? I've been getting a lot of messages on Instagram and Twitter recently, people asking about the monitor that I'm using behind me, people asking about my keyboard, about my laptops, my mouse. So I figured it'd probably just be easiest, instead of answering all these questions, just to show you guys and to talk through my entire desk setup. This is something that's come together over time. There are probably one or two more things that I really want to add to this setup, so I wouldn't say it's totally complete, but nonetheless, I feel pretty good about it. I really enjoy my desk space, which I think is very, very important. And so today I want to basically show you guys everything that I have in my desk setup. All right, so just before we jump into this video, I think that having a desk setup is super important, especially now that most, if not all of you, are working from home. I think it's very important to feel comfortable at your desk. I think it's very important to have an environment and a space where you feel productive in. So I went ahead during quarantine and really beefed up my desk setup, and now I have just about everything that I want. So I think that this could give you guys some good ideas for your own desk setup, and I highly encourage you guys, if you can, definitely spend some money. I feel like, you know, just the chair you sit in or the desk that you sit at for at least 8 hours a day if you're an engineer, it's important. You know, it's important to be comfortable. It's important to feel like you're in an environment where you could be productive. So I highly recommend putting some money into your desk setup if you can. Before we jump into our first item of the desk setup, which is actually the desk itself, I just want to remind you guys to drop a like on the video and subscribe if you're new. It really helps me reach a larger audience and push this video out to more people. So if you guys can do that, I would really, really appreciate it. So the desk that I have here is actually the Smart Desk 2 Premium from Autonomous. This desk has been absolutely amazing. I feel like it's changed the way that I work. It's actually a sit-stand desk as well, so it's very, very easy for me to go between sitting and standing during the day, which I think has been a lifesaver, especially during this pandemic. I think that most, if not all of us, are probably not as active as we should be, given the fact that we can't really go out and do the things that we used to. You know, it's a lot harder to get to a gym now. I haven't been to a gym almost in a year now. I've been doing a lot of, you know, at-home workouts and body weight workouts and things like that. But with that being said, you know, I don't think that we move around as much. So really being able to stand at my desk during the day has been a lifesaver. I find that now that I've been using this desk for about a month or so, I typically stand for about half the day, which I think is pretty good. I'll typically stand during my meetings, and then when I'm actually doing very focused work, I'll sort of switch off between standing and sitting just to kind of get my blood flowing. So while standing and sitting is great, this desk even goes a little bit further than that, and actually gives you customizable buttons. So I just have two different presets. One is just a button that I click, and one will actually go down to the level that I like to sit at. So that's programmed, and that's set at the same exact height every single time I click that button. And then if I want to switch to standing, I basically just click the 2, and then 2 will just raise the desk up all the way to the standing position. It also comes with 2 other programmable buttons, 3 and 4. I have not used those. I guess Carly or someone else in the house could use that if they're interested. But for me, I just basically have sit and stand 1 and 2 respectively. The next thing that I really love about this desk is just how big it is. I think it's 70 inches wide and 30 inches deep. And for me, I really like to feel like I'm not cluttered at my workspace. I really like to have a lot of space to spread out and not feel crammed. And this desk definitely allows me to do that. I have a lot of stuff on this desk, as you guys are going to see, but I feel like it does not feel crowded at all, which I really love. I have plenty of room to write. If I need to write in a notebook, I have plenty of room to spread out my elbows, you know, if I'm typing or anything like that. I can kind of pace back and forth the length of the desk, which is still pretty nice. So if you guys are interested, I highly recommend checking out this desk. I think it's $450 if you guys get the smaller desktop, and it's a little bit more if you guys get the XL like I did. But again, I think this is a no-brainer. I think this is a great investment. I personally think that this has really changed the way that I work, and it really has changed the way that I feel personally sitting at my desk for at least 8 hours a day. So now getting into the next thing in my desk setup, that is just the chair that I'm sitting on. I do think that those are primarily the 2 biggest things in a desk setup, your desk and your chair. And I've went ahead and actually invested in the Herman Miller MAJORA 2 chair. And for me, again, this is a no-brainer. I think that this really, really elevates the way that you do your work, how you feel in your work environment. And also just sitting for so long is really already not healthy. And so I think that this desk specifically really helps me combat that by just making sure that I stand, you know, at least for a minute every single hour. But again, I try and stand at least during all my meetings during the day and then during some of my work. But chairs are, you know, really go hand in hand with that. It's really important to have a chair that's ergonomic. It's really, really important to have a chair that you feel comfortable working in, that your back doesn't hurt at the end of the day. And so I really recommend investing in a good chair if you guys can. So for me, the MAJORA 2 has been really, really game changing. For me, I feel very comfortable sitting in this chair for 8 to 10 hours at a time. I don't have any back pain at the end of the day. It's very comfortable. I think it looks pretty cool. And everything on this chair is adjustable. I can adjust the seat. I can adjust how high I am, how low I am, how far back I can go. I can adjust the elbow pads up and down, in and out. I think you could even change things with like the base of the chair and maybe even the wheels. Everything on this chair is adjustable. It makes me feel very comfortable working again for an extended period of time, which I think is particularly important. And just, I think the icing on the cake is it looks kind of nice, and it's a great chair. It's going to last you a very long time. I don't think you'll have to replace this chair really anytime in the future. So I think it's, a little pricey, but for sure, I think it's worth the investment again, given how much time you're going to be spending at your desk every single day. All right, so now the next item that I want to talk to you about is really just this monitor here. Again, that's a very big part of your desk setup, your desk, your chair, and now your monitor. So the monitor that I have here is the Acer Predator 34-inch LCD monitor, 21:9 display. And this has really been an awesome monitor for me. This is actually refurbished as well. This is a 34-inch curved gaming monitor, and I absolutely love it. I think it's great for work. I think it's great for playing video games on, and in that way, I kind of get the best of both worlds. I have gone back and forth about whether I like to have one monitor or two, and I think that this monitor has really settled it for me. I think it looks cleaner in terms of a desk setup to just have one monitor. And I do think that given that this is 34 inches of real estate, I typically just take the screen and split it in two anyways and use it like it's two monitors. And then I have a little desktop tool, which is really nice. It's called Magnet, and that just gives you different hotkeys on Mac to basically snap different things to different sides of the screen. So bottom right, bottom left corner, top right, etc. And it just lets me use this monitor really easily and efficiently as two monitors effectively. So I think it looks really nice from an aesthetic standpoint. I think it's great that it does both in terms of like getting productivity out of it and getting stuff done for work. And on top of that, I can play games on it, which I think is a great bonus. So I really recommend this monitor. I think it was around $500. I think I got it cheaper for it being refurbished. I had some sort of gift card too from Amazon. And then I think my company also expensed the other half as well. So monitor is super important. I personally love this one. Again, if you guys are interested in checking out any of this stuff, I'll leave links in the description, but I cannot recommend this monitor enough. I think I also get 120 frames per second, and it has NVIDIA G-Sync, which is great for gaming as well. So again, no problems with this monitor. I've really loved it, and I highly, highly recommend you guys check it out too. And just to quickly mention, I'm sure that you guys will notice that on top of this, there is a Logitech webcam. I think that this is the stream cam. This is just something that I typically use for my meetings, and I've recently started using it for Twitch streaming as well. So if you guys have not checked out my Twitch, go check it out. It's twitch.tv/K_Naught, and I've been streaming on Twitch recently, and I would love to see you guys drop in and pop by when I'm live. So the newest and maybe even the best addition to my desk setup is actually this giant desktop, as you guys can probably see back here. This is actually something that I very, very recently built, and I'm so happy with how it came out. It looks super nice in terms of the colors. I'll show you guys some close-ups for sure. But I really, really love this desktop. It's really incredible. It definitely ran me a little bit of money, but I think it will be worth it. I think it's going to last me well into the future. And now I can play all the games that I want, which I can never do on my MacBook before. And now just to talk about a little bit of the specs of that computer. Inside that computer, I have an RTX 3090. So as far as I'm aware, that's like the best graphics card right now. So I'm really looking forward to playing all different kinds of games at the highest quality possible and really getting immersed in this 34-inch curved monitor. I have an Intel i9, Core i9 10900K for my processor, and then I have 32 gigs of 3200 megahertz Corsair RAM. And then I have a couple solid state drives in there. I think I have a 500 gig solid state for my OS and then a terabyte solid state just for everything else. That's pretty much it. I have a couple different fans in there. You guys can probably see the RGB and everything light up. It's pretty cool. The RAM's RGB, the CPU cooler's RGB, the fans are RGB. Everything lights up, and I can control it from my computer, which is pretty nice. And honestly, I think it really just kind of adds to the aesthetic as well. But now I can basically play any game that I want at the highest quality, which literally I'm so excited to do. So that's my desktop back there. I really love it. And if you guys could build one, I highly, highly recommend it. The next thing I want to briefly mention, this is just very quick. I have two different MacBook Pros over here. One is for my work at Amazon. I think that one is a 2017 16-inch, 16 gigs of RAM and like a Core i7 or something. And I think it gets like 3,200 clock cycles or something on the CPU. I can't totally remember. My smaller one is a 13-inch MacBook Pro. I think it's 2018, in very similar specs. It has 16 gigs of RAM, and I think it's like 3,200 megahertz for the CPU as well. So those are what I guess just like I'll edit on that for, YouTube. I might switch probably to the desktop to start editing on that instead. But obviously my work laptop for Amazon is all just my work stuff that stays separate from my personal stuff. And then, I'll typically use that laptop just to kind of mess around and edit videos, browse the web, that sort of a thing, watch videos. But it's really easy to carry around. I've always loved the MacBook Pros. I've always stuck with them. So I don't really have to tell you guys about Apple. Everyone knows about Apple. So the thing that goes hand in hand with my laptops is actually basically a mini laptop, which is my iPad. This is an iPad Pro 4th generation here, and I have the Apple Pencil with it as well. This is something that I recently picked up and I really love it. I really couldn't see the point of iPads at first, but now I think I get it a little bit more. I feel like it's kind of nicer to carry around. I personally like having that magnetic flap as well. And the Apple Pencil is really a game changer if you're trying to do any sort of sketching or note taking, I think too. And I just kind of like it. I use it for, casually browsing the web again and just sort of running around the house, doing random stuff, pulling up recipes. So just another great little device to have. It's probably overkill, but nonetheless, I have it. So now let's talk about the center of my desk. At the very center of my desk, I have a couple different things. I have my keyboard, I have my keyboard cable, I have my mouse pad, I have my mouse, and I have my wrist rest. So let's just start with the keyboard. The keyboard that I have is the And Pro 2. I picked this up, I think like 9 months ago, and I gave one away. And then I just bought another one a few months ago, and I've been using it again. I really enjoy this keyboard. I find that it took me a little bit of time to sort of get used to and get acclimated, but now I find that I'm typing just as fast, I guess, if not faster than before. Again, with my keyboard being broken on my Mac, I sometimes think that this keyboard double types, but I think that, again, might just be because of my actual laptop. I recommend this keyboard. It's a 60% keyboard. I really like it. It's nice and compact, doesn't take up a ton of room on my desk. And yeah, I can't really complain. The cable that I have attached to it really is just more of like an aesthetic thing. I kind of like how it looks, the coiled keyboard cable, and I think it's from Tez Cables. If you guys want to check that out, there will be a link to. The mouse that I have here is just the Logitech MX Master 3. I've used this probably for like a little over a year now, or almost a year. And I really love this mouse. You can customize just about every single thing, every button on this mouse, how you scroll, all the hotkeys, and again, all just the random buttons. There's like 10 buttons on that thing or something. It's really insane. And I love it. I didn't really care about mice ever, and then I use this mouse, and now I don't think I'll ever go back. So if you guys are interested in a mouse, if you guys are in the market for a mouse, I guess, definitely be sure to check it out. I think it's my favorite now. I know a ton of other people love it as well. This is a wrist rest. It is literally just like a plank of wood that I bought off of Amazon, and sadly it's absolutely horrible. I don't know if you guys could really see this from the video, but it's literally like there was some stain on it and it's already wearing off like after a month of using it. It's literally just a piece of garbage at this point. I don't even know why I have it. I'll probably upgrade to an actual like well-made product, but I think that was a really bad purchase, and I probably should know about that. The thing that I have under my keyboard is just my mouse pad. My mouse pad is from Logitech. I have a giant mouse pad, and again, I kind of like that it takes up a lot of space on my desk. I think it's kind of like a nice sort of centerpiece. It sort of frames my monitor really well, and I just enjoy having it. I'll typically write on a notepad to the left or right of my keyboard, which I also have to the right of my mouse pad. And I think it just adds to the aesthetic. I really like it, and I'm happy with it. I've used it for a while, and for games, I'm sure it's going to come in handy just because I'm going to be able to swipe across the entire thing. Now moving on to one of the newer additions to the desk setup, which is this mic. This is the Shure SM7B mic, I think is what it's called, and I really love it. I'm sure you guys do too, because I think my audio quality has improved like tenfold having this mic. Attached to this mic, I have a Rode mic arm, which I also love. It allows me to very easily kind of just adjust the mic where it is, and just throw it out of the way when I'm not using it, which I really love. When I'm not using it, I just tuck it behind this monitor. It's out of the way. It's out of sight, out of mind. It doesn't really take up any space on my desk, which I love. Underneath my monitor, I have the Scarlett 2i2, and this is basically what the audio signal comes in from and then gets pushed out to my laptop in a different format. The Scarlett 2i2 is actually plugged into a cloud lifter, which is behind my laptop, sort of hidden. This is blue little box, and that just boosts the gain out of the audio coming out of the mic. So that's sort of the entire setup that I have here. I think this mic has really changed the quality of my channel. Obviously the camera helps as well, but I really think that this mic has been a game changer for me. And if you guys are serious about doing this and you guys can afford it, I definitely recommend, whether it's for streaming or music or videos or anything like that, I really recommend checking out this mic. This does seem to be like the industry standard and the go-to mic right now. And I really cannot recommend it enough. I really love this mic because I could probably do this and you guys could probably hear me. The next thing I have on my desk is actually this light right here. I don't know how well you guys can see this from this angle, but this is the BenQ light. I really love this light as well. I don't have it on right now just because I think it messes with the lighting a little bit for the video, but I have this light on all day, every day while I'm working or at night while I'm doing my own personal stuff. I didn't really care about lights ever on my desk, and then I got this lamp, and I was like, wow, this lamp is really, really great. It basically allows you to adjust the different temperature of the light that you have. It has this really nice curvature as well that basically allows you to make sure that you're covering your entire desk with light, which I had never thought about before. It's a very heavy base, so it's not going to topple over, which is great. And then both the head of the lamp and actually the hinge that it's on is adjustable, so you can very easily kind of maneuver the lamp however you want, and make sure that you're really lighting up whatever desk part that you're trying to cover. So this light is actually not only great to just adjust the temperature, but you could actually hold down the silver piece and it will kind of automatically adjust the light to something that you think you would like. I don't know all the science behind it or why it does it exactly the way that it does it, but I really enjoyed this lamp. And I, again, never really cared about lamps, thought lamps are lamps. But then I got this lamp and I'm like, wow, this is a pretty dope lamp. Other people should try it. All right, so then moving on to a couple smaller things about my desk setup, but the things I also really love and I think make this desk setup complete are my Bose headphones, which I really have loved. These are pretty destroyed now, to be honest, so I should probably upgrade and get the new ones. I've had these for about 4 years. I think these are my favorite headphones I've ever had. I got them in 2017. I literally do everything with them, which you may or may not think is disgusting, but I run in them, I sweat in them, I'll work out in them, I'll weight lift in them, I'll listen to music in them, I'll do everything that I do for work and my personal stuff at my desk. And I absolutely love them. They're extremely noise canceling. They have not failed me yet. They are a little pricey. I think they're like $300. I think the newer ones are at least $300. But again, I've had them for 4 years, and really the only thing that's getting ratty about them are like the actual earmuffs. But the sound quality is incredible. The noise canceling is still great. And the battery life is like absolutely absurd. I think you get like 12 hours of battery life, and like for a 5-minute charge or something, you get an additional hour. So I really love my Bose headphones. They actually sit on a little hook right here. So whenever I'm not using them, I can kind of put them aside and they have a little spot, which I appreciate. I like to have my things have their own little spots and, stay organized. Next to my little headphone stand, I actually have blue light glasses. These are things I try and wear almost all the time when I'm staring at different screens. I think it's important to just protect your eyes. And again, I think I mentioned in one of my more recent videos, but I think it helps me get better sleep as well. So these are just the little blue light glasses that I use. I think they're like $10. I had these Felix Gray ones that Carly got me for my birthday a little while ago, but ever since the pandemic, I haven't really gone back to New York. So I think they're just like literally lost somewhere in one of my packing boxes, which is sad. The next thing that I really like to have on my desk is actually just a wireless charger. So I have my phone here and it's really nice. I can just kind of place it down here and, it'll be charging. And it's really great too, because I don't actually have to constantly check my phone. If like a message pops up, like right now, I can literally just see who texted me and see what's going on. I don't really have to change my entire focus from whatever I'm doing on the screen to pick up my phone and check to see if I have any notifications. When I don't want to get disturbed, I just turn on Do Not Disturb, which is awesome. And then I don't really have to worry about it at all. And it's really nice as well, because this stand can actually go sideways, and then if I kind of want to multitask or I'm doing something on here and I want to watch like a Twitch stream or a YouTube video or something, I can kind of just look back and forth without totally diverting my attention to my phone, and my phone still charges, which is really nice. So I really love this wireless charger. It doesn't take up a lot of space, allows me to read my notifications when I need to, allows me to multitask between watching videos and doing work or any of my personal stuff on this bigger screen as well. So now moving on to a couple of the different miscellaneous things I just have on my desk. One of the things I have are books. I try and make sure that I'm trying to learn more about engineering and just read books constantly. So, even if I just read 5 pages a day, I try and make sure that I'm reading and learning. So I have a couple books here. One is about architecture, one is about writing clean code. And then I also have a notebook, and I also have the Meditations by Marcus Aurelius. That's personally my favorite book. He was basically a Stoic, and you guys can read about him if you want, but I highly recommend checking out that book. I think it's changed my life, and that's for sure my favorite book that I've ever read. In my little Amazon cup, again, I just have other random things like cables and cords and things to clean my screens and pens and pencils, etc. At the bottom of my book stack, I usually just have a notebook. Sometimes I like to take physical notes with a pen and paper just to make sure I'm not forgetting things and kind of just check things off as well. I mentioned in one of my last videos, but I'll also use Notion for that if I want to do it on my computer or on my phone, and that also helps keep me organized. And then the last thing that I have is just sort of miscellaneous. It's just towards the back, towards my desktop over here, and that's just like a hot plate for cups. So every morning I typically have black coffee, and when I come down to start work, I really hate when my coffee gets cold or when it's not piping hot, so I'll just put it on that hot plate and that'll keep it nice and hot for me. All right, guys, so that is everything that I have here that makes up my entire desk setup. Again, I really love this space. I encourage you guys, if you guys can, try and find a way to elevate your desk setup. Try and find a way to make sure that you're comfortable when you sit at your desk to sit down and do your work. It's super important to have an environment that you feel productive in, that you feel comfortable in. And I really hope that this has inspired you guys and given you guys some ideas for what you guys might want to have in your desk setup. And if you guys have different things in your desk setup or have ideas for what I can improve, please be sure to leave a comment and let me know. I'd love to hear your thoughts. And again, if you guys enjoyed this video, please be sure to drop a like and subscribe to the channel if you're new. And I will see you guys in the next one.